Bold ran the entire divorce process, but plot twist. Just when I finally got that sweet divorce paper and was ready to start my ultra-rich billionaire, lazy boy dream life, on the very first night, she regained her memory. And get this, she can actually hear my inner thoughts. Rewind to earlier in the hospital room, on that cold white bed, my so-called wife, the $100 billion Ice Queen CEO, Lou Ruyan, was staring at me like I was a total stranger. Her head was wrapped in bandages, looking super pale, but that cold, untouchable aura of hers was still fully loaded. The doctor stood right next to me, adjusting his glasses with a super apologetic look, saying, "Mr. Yi, I am so sorry. President Liu suffered head trauma, causing selective amnesia, and she forgot literally everything about you." Froze on the spot. My heart skipped a beat, but then a massive wave of pure, unadulterated joy erupted inside me like a volcano. It was hitting my brain like a truck. She forgot everything. But only about me? No way, is this actual heaven? See, I transmigrated into this trash male lead novel, becoming this pathetic oppressed son-in-law with the exact same name, and I have been stuck here for 2 whole years. The original simp male lead, Ye Xiao, was hopelessly in love with this ice queen, constantly doing everything to please her, only to get absolutely wrecked by her and her snobbish, toxic relatives. He ended up as a literal stepping stone for the main character's glow-up, getting a totally tragic ending. Since I transmigrated, I knew the plot was set in stone, so I didn't even bother simping for this frozen block of ice. I had only one goal: survive the plot, get the divorce papers, and then use the massive cash pile I saved up over these 2 years to live my absolute best life. To keep my cover and not raise any red flags every day, I diligently played the ultimate simp. She works late, I bring her food. She gets sick, I brew her soup. She frowns, and I act all heartbroken. Honestly, I wanted to throw up just acting like this. Meanwhile, Lou Ruyan always had that same emotionless, dead expression saying, "Thanks, no need, just leave it there." But now, she got amnesia. This is literally God delivering the endgame rewards straight to my face early. Ha ha ha, I'm free, I'm finally free. 2 years, man. Do you have any idea what I went through these 2 years? My acting was so fire. Hollywood literally owes me an Oscar. Selective amnesia? That is absolutely cracked. She forgot me completely. So satisfying. Inside, I was popping bottles of champagne, but on the outside, I put on the most shocked, heartbroken, and utterly devastated face. I took a step forward, my voice trembling with fake emotion. "Yanyan, do you really not remember me?" Her brow furrowed, and those sharp, beautiful eyes of hers were filled with pure suspicion. She even backed away from me, saying, "I don't know you. Please stay away from me." Yes! Oh my god, that classic toxic rejection is back. I took 2 steps back, looking totally shattered, making my body tremble like I was about to collapse from the heartbreak. The doctor quickly held me up, saying, "Mr. Yi, please stay calm. The patient's emotional state is very fragile right now." I took a deep breath, staring at her with bloodshot eyes, forcing every single word out like it was physically painful. "Lou Ruyan, since you forgot everything, then this marriage has no reason to exist." My voice wasn't loud, but it echoed perfectly in the quiet room. The doctor gasped, "Mr. Yi cannot do this, given President Liu's current state." Even Lou Ruyan herself froze. She definitely didn't expect me to pull the plug so fast. I ignored them completely, keeping my eyes locked on her. In the most devastated, heartbroken voice, I said, "Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock? I will wait for you at the registry office. We are getting a divorce." I didn't even wait for her to process it. I spun around, stumbled out of the room, looking completely broken. But the exact second that door clicked shut, my tragic face vanished instantly. I leaned against the wall, barely holding in a massive laugh. "Divorce. Yes, let's go. Smell you later, Ice Queen. Hello to delicious food, lazy afternoons, and my absolute dream lifestyle of being rich and doing nothing." The next morning, I showed up at the registry office rocking a fresh casual outfit, feeling like $1,000,000. Stopped myself from grinning like a maniac. I stayed up all night just to get some dark circles. Combined with a fake tired look, I actually looked like a heartbroken, tragic husband. At exactly 8:55, a sleek black Bentley pulled up right on time. Lou Ruyan stepped out, finally out of her hospital gown, and wearing a sharp white power suit. Her hair was up, and except for her pale face, she looked like that fierce, cold-blooded lady CEO again. She looked at me, her eyes completely blank, but there was a hint of curiosity there. She probably got briefed by her assistant or family about the whole situation. A worthless son-in-law, a 2-year marriage, 0 chemistry. Perfect. Absolute perfect cover story. "Are you sure about this?" she asked, walking up to me with her signature cold voice. I looked up at her, forcing a smile that looked sadder than crying. "You don't even remember me anymore, so what's the point?" Inside, I was screaming, "Hurry up, sister, it is 9 o'clock. If we stall, the staff are going on break. Sign it and set me free. Go find your destined male lead and let me go find my paradise." Lou Ruyan stared at me for a few seconds before finally nodding. "Okay, The whole thing went unbelievably fast. We took photos, filled out the papers, and got the stamps. When the clerk finally handed me that glorious dark red divorce paper, it felt absolutely electric. I gripped it so tight, my knuckles turned white. It's over. I am finally free, damn it. Stepping out of the registry office, the sun was shining. By was beautiful, and I let out a massive sigh of relief. The invisible chains that weighed me down for 2 whole years completely shattered right there. Even the air smelled like victory. Lu Ruan stood next to me, looking like she wanted to say something, but I shut it down immediately, and using the absolute coldest, most dramatic tone I could muster. President Lu, now that we are divorced, we shouldn't see each other again. Have a good life. I turned on my heel and walked away, hailing a taxi to speed off before she could even reply. Honestly, if I stayed even one more sec, I would have burst out laughing like a complete maniac. Inside the taxi, watching the streets fly past the window, I couldn't stop the massive grin spreading across my face. Let's go! We are finally up. Step 1, block every single member of the Liu family. Step 2, head straight to that luxury penthouse duplex at Thompson Riviera I've had my eyes on. Step 3, hire a top-tier private chef. Tonight, we are feasting like kings. Step 4, travel the world tomorrow. Actually, scratch that. Tomorrow I start hitting the gym. Pack abs and a shredded V-line. Here I come. Gotta get in peak shape to actually enjoy life. I pulled out my phone and quickly got ready to block Lu Ruyan and her arrogant mother. Stuck-up relatives too. Boom, blocked. The world is finally quiet. I leaned back in my seat, closed my eyes, and started planning my epic future. But little did I know, right after I left, Lu Ruyan was standing frozen at the courthouse entrance, staring at the exact spot where I disappeared. She didn't move for the longest time. The bright sunlight stung her eyes, and suddenly a sharp, excruciating pain shot straight through her brain. Countless forgotten memories flooded her mind like a broken dam. It was me, staying up all night to awkwardly cook porridge for her whenever her stomach pain flared up. It was me, using my secret god-tier hacking skills to silently crush her business rivals whenever they tried to corner her. It was me booking the entire space observatory on her birthday, just to show her a meteor shower she casually mentioned. 2 years of absolute devotion. Every single sacrifice she had ignored and taken for granted was now flashing before her eyes with crystal clarity. Plot twist, he wasn't a simp. He had actually done so much for her. She was already so used to having him in her life. But how did she treat him? With coldness, neglect, and absolute indifference. She didn't even try to stop him when he asked for a divorce. In an instant, a wave of overwhelming regret and pure panic gripped her heart. Pain was so intense she couldn't even breathe. Her eyes snapped open, every drop of color draining from her face as she desperately cried out my name. Ye Xiao! Stumbled forward, trying to chase after me, but I was already long gone. Right at that moment, an incredibly clear voice, cheerful echoing voice suddenly rang inside her head saying, "Let's go! We are finally up!" Lu Ruyan froze dead in her tracks. She looked around in absolute confusion. Her assistant ran up, looking panicked, asking, "President Lu, are you okay? Is your head hurting again?" Lu Ruyan shook her head, but that voice inside her mind just kept playing. Step 1, block every single member of the Lu family. Step 2, straight to that luxury penthouse duplex at Thompson Riviera. Step 3, hire a top-tier private chef. Tonight, we are feasting like kings. This was my voice. Lu Ruyan's heart violently squeezed. With trembling hands, she quickly dialed my number, only to hear a cold automated voice say, "The number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later." Refusing to believe it, she called again, but got the exact same response. She instantly realized I wasn't actually on another call. I had blocked her, exactly like that voice in her head had said, "Block every single member of the Liu family." A wave of absolute panic washed over her, leaving her limbs freezing cold. He really left me. He couldn't wait to get away from me. Then the voice continued, "Step 4, travel the world tomorrow." Actually, scratch that. Tomorrow I start hitting the gym. 8-pack abs and a shredded V-line. Here I come. Gotta get in peak shape to actually enjoy life. Inside her mind, sanely cheerful voice kept going on, enthusiastically planning a future that didn't include her. Lu Ruyan bit her lip so hard she tasted blood. No, she couldn't just let me walk away like this. Trying to maintain her composure, she barked orders to her assistant, her voice trembling with a fear she didn't even realize she had. Use whatever means necessary to find out where Ye Xiao is right now. Meanwhile, I was currently soaking in a massive luxury bathtub in my Thompson Riviera penthouse, sipping on some 82 Lafitte. Oh wait, actually just some high-end Westlake Longjing tea. I bought this place with the money I made from investing over the past 2 years. It was fully renovated, but I never had the chance to live here. But now, its true master is finally home. Ah, so comfortable. Now this is what I call living. Humming a little tune, I unlocked my phone to scroll through a food app. What should I have for dinner tonight? Buddha jumps over the wall seems a bit too heavy. Maybe some freshly steamed coral grouper? Let's add some giant prawns with crab roe and shredded wensi tofu. Perfect. Right as I was drooling over my dream dinner, the doorbell suddenly rang. I frowned. Who could that be? I literally just moved in. I hadn't even ordered takeout yet. Wrapping my bathrobe tightly around myself, I walked over and looked through the peephole. I instantly froze solid. Standing right outside my door was none other than Lu Ruyan. What is she doing here? How did she even find out I live here? Oh my god, she is literally a lingering ghost. How did she even track me down? Didn't I block her on everything? Wait, what does she even want? We are literally divorced. Is she here to split assets? No way, the prenup was crystal clear. I left with absolutely nothing. Wait, did she actually get her memories back? That thought made my heart skip a beat. No, there's no way. That's just too ridiculous. We just got divorced this morning, and she recovers her memories by tonight? Talk about a massive plot twist. Outside the door, Lu Ruyan could clearly hear the chaotic thoughts running through my mind. The moment she heard the words recover memories, her entire body shivered. Her body trembled ever so slightly. Taking a deep breath, she reached out and rang the doorbell again. I, annoyed, ruffled my hair. Seriously, she's so annoying. I can't even pretend I'm not home because all my lights are blazing. What do I do? What do I even say if I open it? Congrats on getting your memory back? Or should I say we are divorced? Goodbye? No, that lacks class. I need to chill and channel my inner Oscar-winning acting skills. I cleared my throat, adjusted the collar of my bathrobe, and swung the door open. Leaning casually against the doorframe, I struck a lazy and annoyed pose. I raised an eyebrow at her and drawled, "President Liu, is there something you need?" Calling her President Liu instantly put up a massive wall between us. Lu Ruyan's heart felt like it was stabbed by a needle. She stared at me, her eyes instantly turning red. Those cold, icy eyes of hers were now filled with tears. It looked like fragile glass about to shatter. She just stood there, staring blankly at me, her lips trembling as if she wanted to speak. She couldn't squeeze out a single word. I was honestly a bit stunned by her reaction. What is even going on right now? Talk about instant drama. Are you for real, sis? We literally just got a divorce. Who are you trying to fool with that heartbroken abandoned ex-wife act anyway? Whoa, hold up. Please don't cry. You're making me panic here. Is this some kind of amnesia side effect making her emotionally unstable? Wait, can she actually hear my inner thoughts? Lu Ruyan forced her tears back. She knew crying was totally useless now and would only annoy me more. She just stared right at me. The raspy voice, she mumbled, Can I come in for a bit?" My eyebrows instantly twitched. I was about to say a flat-out no. Like, why should I even let her in? An ex-husband and ex-wife alone in a room together? Yeah, that drama is not going to look good if rumors start spreading. Plus, I haven't even figured out my dinner yet. I don't have time for this. But wait, she actually looks like she lost weight and her face is pale. I guess she did just survive a major car crash. Fine, maybe I'll just let her in for a quick glass of water. Call it a basic humanitarian gesture. But Lu Ruyan instantly seized the opportunity. She grabbed her head, swaying like she was about to faint. Playing the fragile card, she murmured, "My head is spinning." Okay, with her acting like that, if I still lock her out, I would look like an absolute monster. I sighed, stepped aside, and told her to come in. The moment she stepped inside, she looked incredibly awkward. Probably never imagined that one day she would be stepping into my private domain as my ex-wife. This place was entirely my own space. The vibe was minimalist and cozy, a complete contrast to that icy guest room I was shoved into back at the Liu family mansion. My open kitchen was fully stacked with top-tier cooking gear. You could tell it got plenty of action. She suddenly remembered those 2 years when I would whip up all kinds of amazing meals for her, while she always used the busy with work excuse to barely touch them. Sharp, stinging pain hit her chest again. I grabbed a bottle of cold water from the fridge, handed it to her, and said coldly, "Take a seat. Say what you came to say, because I need to sleep. Spit it out and get lost, because my epic feast is waiting for me." Lu Ruyan clutched the ice-cold water bottle so hard her knuckles turned white. She looked up at me with this super complicated expression. "Ye Xiao, we're really divorced now." President Liu, I immediately cut her off, leaning back against the bar counter with my arms crossed. I hit her with that strictly professional boss energy. "If you're here to talk about dividing the assets, don't bother. I don't want a single penny." In my mind, I was like, come on, praise me for being so generous and then get the hell out. Lu Ruyan stared at me, seeing how desperate I was to cut all ties. Her heart filled with bitterness. She knew I didn't care about the money. She just had absolutely no idea how to tell me that she actually recovered her memories. And then what? Beg him to get back together? With how relieved I looked to finally be free, she knew she'd just look like a total joke. Wait, why is she suddenly silent? Did she freeze up? She's stunned by my absolute Chad energy and cold attitude? I mean, fair. My current vibe is a massive glow-up compared to the pathetic simp I used to be. The contrast is wild. Let her feel what it's like to be ignored for once. Hearing my wild narcissistic monologue, Lu Ruyan almost lost it. So this is what he really thinks inside. She suddenly realized that this mind-reading ability was actually a golden opportunity from heaven. A chance to start over, truly get to know him and win him back. Suppressing her overwhelming emotions, she played along with my words. I'm not here to talk about assets. Then what do you want? I raised an eyebrow. Lu Ruyan stared at me and suddenly dropped a total plot twist. Can I treat you to dinner? Treat me to dinner? Is this a trap? What game is she playing now? Is she trying to bribe me with food? Does she expect me to go back and work like a slave again? In her dreams, I, Ye Xiao, would rather starve to death today and jump off a building before I ever eat another bite of your food, Lu Ruyan. Seeing my guard immediately go up, she wanted to laugh, but she also felt a pang of sadness. She softened her tone, sounding submissive and pleading in a way she didn't even realize. Let's just call it a farewell dinner. We should at least end things on a proper note, right? I know this exclusive private kitchen that makes the ultimate Buddha jumps over the wall soup. My pupils dilated. Buddha jumps over the wall? Wait, how does she know I was literally just craving that? Holy crap, is this a crazy coincidence? Or did she bug my phone? No way, this phone is brand new. That legendary soulmate connection? Screw that! There's zero connection between us! But damn, I really want that soup. My brain and my stomach are literally fighting a war right now. My logic is telling me to say no because this woman is dangerous, but my stomach just let out a loud, traitorous growl. Lu Ruyan watched the chaotic struggle flash across my face while listening to my hilarious mental breakdown. She smirked, keeping it low-key, and pressed her advantage. Their steamed leopard coral grouper and crab roe giant prawns are also absolute masterpieces. I feel targeted. She is literally sniping all of my favorites now. She definitely came prepared. Woman is terrifying. To go or not to go, that is the question. Going means giving her a foot in the door, but if I don't go, my soup, my steamed grouper! Seeing my face twisting a knot of pure agony, the heavy gloom in Lurian's chest from recovering her memories actually began to melt away. She thought, is he really this dramatic inside? She decided to turn up the heat. If you don't feel like going out to eat, hot, I can just have the private chef come over and cook here. I snapped my head up. Having them cook in my own apartment? That literally means I don't have to lift a finger, still get a massive 5-star feast? Damn her, she is playing dirty. This is low-key genius, and I absolutely cannot say no. Struggled for a solid 30 seconds. But in the end, faced with top-tier gourmet food, my logic completely collapsed. I cleared my throat, trying to stay as cold and aloof as possible. Well, since President Liu is being so sincere, I guess I'll make an exception. I will send you the address. Just have them come straight here. I immediately turned around and walked away, terrified she'd see the massive grin spreading across my face. Behind me, Lu Ruyan watched my back, finally let out her first genuine smile of the night. The speed of a top-tier private kitchen is absolutely insane. In less than 1 hour, my empty kitchen was absolutely buzzing. Meanwhile, my ex-wife and I sat on the sofa in complete dead silence. The vibe was pure, unadulterated awkwardness. I grabbed my phone to pretend I was busy working, but I was actually frantically searching for new gyms nearby. Hey, this one has pretty fire equipment. Super close anyway. I'm getting that gym membership tomorrow. 8-pack abs and a snatched waist. Here I come. Just wait till I get that perfect build and hit the beach for a vacation. I already know the hot girls will be lining up to talk to me. I'll find a gorgeous baddie with long legs who's super sweet, cute, and knows how to act clingy. Man, I was fully locked into my daydream. Suddenly, I felt this icy vibe next to me. I looked up and bam, right into Lu Ruyan's deep, dark eyes. She was staring at me without even blinking. Her eyes had this weird look I couldn't even explain, almost like she was flexing some superiority. My heart literally did a flip, like, why is she looking at me like that? Then, do I have something on my face? Oh wait, I forgot she has amnesia right now. Seeing me, her ex-husband who allegedly abandoned her, she's obviously going to throw shade. But hey, if I don't act awkward, then she's the one who's cooked. I casually looked away and kept scrolling on my phone like nothing happened. Lu Ruyan looked at me, totally caught in her feelings. Hot girls who are sweet, cute, and clingy, so that's his type? She looked down at herself in her crisp white suit and cold-as-ice expression. Yeah, she was light years away from being sweet and cute. A massive wave of panic hit her. No way, she couldn't let those fake gold diggers steal her man. Lu Ruyan took a deep breath. Like she made a major decision, she started sliding over to my side of the couch. I immediately backed off, on high alert. Like, what are you doing? Back off. Lu Ruyan froze mid-motion. Hearing my inner thoughts, her heart kind of ached. Why didn't she ever realize how cute I actually was back then? Instead of pushing closer, she just turned slightly and acted casual. So you seem really into working out? Without even looking up, I just said, yeah, it's all right. But in my head, I was like, none of your business. Hearing that brutal inner voice, Lu Ruyan nearly lost it. Man's poker face was genuinely cracked. Still, she tried to keep the conversation going. A new gym just opened near my office. Apparently, they have God mode equipment imported straight from Germany. Do you want to? Before she could even finish, I shut her down. No thanks, President Lu. I already found a spot. No shot I'm going to the same gym as you. I want peace and quiet. I do not want to be doing leg press and look up just to see your ice-cold face ruining my gains. Lu Ruyan was so exhausted. Trying to win this man back seemed way harder than closing a $10 billion deal. Right then, the chef called out from the kitchen, Mr. Yi, President Lu, dinner is served. My eyes lit up, and I literally jumped out of my seat. Food is ready, let's eat. Seeing how hyped I was, Lu Ruyan just shook her head with a smile and followed me. The table was absolutely loaded with over 10 gorgeous dishes that looked and smelled incredible. My appetite went into overdrive. I didn't even care about acting cold to Lu Ruyan anymore. I grabbed my chopsticks and just went to town. Damn, this soup is so rich and savory. The abalone is perfectly tender, and look at the steamed grouper. The cooking is flawless and the fish is so fresh and delicate. It literally melts in my mouth. I was enjoying my meal so much that I completely ghosted Lu Ruyan. Meanwhile, she didn't have much of an appetite. Just sat there quietly watching me eat. Seeing the pure satisfaction on my face, her mood suddenly got so much better. For the last 2 years, we had never just sat down and enjoyed a quiet meal together. She was always too busy, buried under endless meetings, endless paperwork. She had missed out on so much. Eat slower, no one's going to steal it from you, she finally said. Her voice carried this gentle vibe she didn't even realize was there. I froze mid-bite and looked up at her, totally confused. What is up with her today? She's acting so weird. Buying me dinner, acting all caring. Did the car accident actually break her brain or something? Did her entire personality change, or is this just some new toxic scheme? She wants to use mind games to soften me up, so I'll go back to being her mindless slave. No way, girl, I gave a cold smirk. Put down my chopsticks, wiping my mouth with a napkin. I'm full. Thanks for the dinner, President Lu. If you're done, can you leave now? Talk about a brutal eviction notice. That seriously hurt Lu Ruyan's feelings. She looked at the table of barely touched food, then at me, and her eyes started tearing up again. Yishao, do we really have to do this? What do you think? I snapped back. President Lu, we are divorced. You need to accept reality. Lu Ruyan just stared at me, then suddenly, her eyes fell on a magazine next to my hand. It was a travel magazine showcasing some super obscure town in Northern Europe. A light bulb suddenly went off in her head. She remembered that right before her accident, she overheard me in the study booking a flight to that exact town. She didn't care back then, but now it all clicked. This was my escape plan all along, and right on cue. My inner thoughts leaked into her mind again. I'm fully fed, and tomorrow I'm off to Finland to catch the Northern Lights. Perfect. Flights and hotels are locked in. Nobody is stopping me. Lu Ruyan's heart sank instantly. I really didn't want to have anything to do with her ever again. The next day at the airport, I was rocking sunglasses and a mask, dragging my suitcase, totally ready to breeze through security. Just as I handed my passport to the agent, a familiar figure popped up right next to me. What a coincidence, Mr. Yi. Are you going to Finland too? I slowly turned around, saw Lu Ruyan with a full face of flawless makeup. My jaw literally hit the floor. She was rocking a beige trench coat, holding the exact same suitcase as mine. Smiling right at me. Since when does this ice-cold CEO smile? My brain literally short-circuited for 3 seconds. What the hell? How is she even here? How did she know I was heading to Finland? Is she stalking me? Wait, no, she saw that magazine yesterday. Saw the travel magazine on my desk. This girl is playing chess. That dinner yesterday was just a trap to spy on my plans. I cannot believe I fell for a free meal. I was absolutely screaming on the inside, but I had to keep my face completely blank. I grabbed my passport back and gave her a cold stare. President Lu, I don't think this is a coincidence. Lu Ruyan just blinked. Looking all innocent, she claims her company has some project in Sunan she needs to check out, and her assistant booked the ticket way beforehand so she had no clue. Bro, who is she trying to fool? Yeah, right. Like I would believe that lie. Since when did the Lu Group expand their business all the way to Northern Europe? How come I did not know about this? I let out a cold sneer and say, is that so? Wow, what a crazy coincidence. But do not worry, President Lu. Our trips are not going to overlap at all. After dropping that, I grab my suitcase and head straight for security without even looking back. Lu Ruyan just stares at my back. Hearing my inner thoughts roasting her, she does not even get mad. Instead, she finds it kind of funny as she slowly follows behind me and walks through security too. Once we board the plane, I am completely dumbfounded. No way, Lu Ruyan's seat is literally right next to mine. Just the two of us in first class. I look at her and my head is literally throbbing. Talk about a lingering ghost. definitely did this on purpose. What is she even trying to pull? Chasing me across the globe? Don't make me laugh. She is supposed to have amnesia right now. Does not even remember me. Could she have developed some weird interest in me, her ex-husband who abandoned her? The masochistic Lu Ruyan is sitting right next to me, elegantly fastening her seatbelt. She clearly hears my last roast, and her cheeks turn slightly red. What on earth is a masochist? She just wants to win back her husband, even if he is her ex now. During the entire flight, I keep my eye mask and headphones on to rest, making it crystal clear that I do not want to talk to her at all. Lu Ruyan stays quiet and does not bother me. She just tilts her head, using the light coming through the window to secretly look at me. His eyelashes are so long, his nose is high and sharp, and his lips are perfectly shaped. How did she never realize he was this handsome before? While she is totally lost in thought, my inner voice pops up again. Can't sleep, and I'm kind of hungry. Airplane food is so trash. I suddenly want to eat some sweetheart cakes, but like the kind without an actual sweetheart inside. Lu Ruyan freezes. Sweetheart cakes? She immediately presses the service button. I'll call the flight attendant, asking in a low voice if there are any pastries. The flight attendant apologizes, saying first class only has meals and some nuts and snacks. Lu Ruyan looks a bit disappointed, but she is not giving up yet. After a moment, she asks the flight attendant, could you please bring me some flour, butter, sugar, and winter melon paste? If you do not have winter melon paste, glutinous rice flour is fine too. Flight attendant looks totally confused but politely says she will check the kitchen. I am woken up by their voices, so I take off my eye mask, stare at her in confusion. What does she want flour and butter for? Is she trying to bake a cake on a plane? Lu Ruyan does not look at me and just waits quietly. A few minutes later, the flight attendant comes back with a tray, and it actually has everything she asked for. Then I just stand there completely speechless, watching this billionaire Ice Queen CEO roll up her sleeves and start kneading dough right at the tiny bar counter in first class. She is literally making sweetheart cakes. Her movements are super clumsy and awkward, and white flour gets all over her. Even her expensive trench coat gets stained with grease, but her face shows a level of focus and dedication I have never seen before. I am completely stunned. Is she making sweetheart cakes for me? No way. How does she know I want to eat this? Does she literally have mind-reading powers? No, it must be a coincidence. Absolutely a coincidence. But a billionaire CEO who has never cooked a day in her life is actually making food for me on a plane. My heart literally skips a beat. 30 minutes later, a steaming hot plate of sweetheart cakes is served. They do not look that great, but the smell is absolutely fire. Places them right in front of me. Lu Ruyan has flour on her face like a cute little cat, looking at me with nervous anticipation as she whispered, try some. I look at her, then at the plate of cakes, feeling so conflicted. To eat or not to eat? If I eat them, does it mean I am accepting her advances? That would totally violate my rule of keeping my distance from her. But damn, it smells so good. And she did make this just for me. What if I reject her and she starts crying? Women are so much trouble. Listening to my inner thoughts, Lu Ruyan's palms are literally sweating from anxiety, terrified that I will cold shoulder her and say no. Just as I am hesitating, an annoying voice suddenly ruins the moment. Well, if it isn't President Lu, what a coincidence. I turn around to see some guy in a floral shirt and a fat gold chain. Greasy, slick-looking dude is standing next to us, staring at Lu Ruyan with a huge grin. I know this guy. It is Jiang, a notorious playboy and Lu Ruyan's biggest business rival. He has always tried to sabotage her company, and in the original novel, this trash always caused trouble for me. Jiang's gaze darts between Lu Ruyan and me, finally landing on me with pure contempt. So, this is the legendary ex-husband of President Lu? I heard he is just a gold digger. Who knew that even after the divorce, he could still leech off President Lu and fly first class for a vacation? Quite impressive indeed. He says it just loud enough for everyone around to hear. Before I can even say a word, Lu Ruyan's face instantly turns ice cold. Jiang, watch your mouth. Her voice is freezing. Oh, President Lu, do not get mad. Jiang sneers even harder. I am just curious. How can a man you dumped still have the nerve to cling to you? Mr. Yi, you really need some self-awareness, you know? Am I right? Damn, where did this clown even come from? It is literally day one of my plan to live a peaceful life, and I already run into a fly like this. What a mood killer. Whatever, I am not going to let this trash ruin my mood for eating these cakes. I completely ignore him, grab a sweetheart cake, and take a bite. The crust is super crispy, and the filling is sweet and soft. Honestly, it tastes pretty fire, but seeing me completely ignore him like he is nothing, Jiang's face instantly turns ugly. Feeling insulted, he slams the table and points at my face. Are you deaf? I am talking to you, he screams. I slowly swallow the bite in my mouth. I roll my eyes and look up at him. Bro, we are not close. Drop the tough guy act. Also, a good dog does not block the road. Get out of my way, you are ruining my vibe. Jiang Yin is shaking with pure rage. But right when he is about to lose his mind, a suited guy, probably his assistant, runs over in a panic. Whispers in Jiang Yin's ear, and bro's face instantly drops. The rage turns into pure unfiltered terror. He looks at me like he has seen a ghost. He looks at me then at Lu Ruyan, his eyes shaking with fear. No way, absolutely no way, he stammers, losing his mind. Then, right in front of everyone's shocked faces, he drops straight to his knees. Thud. Mr. Yi, I am so sorry. I was blind to your greatness. I did not know that project belonged to you. Please, show some mercy and let me off this once. What project? I just stare at him kneeling there, completely lost. This a scam? What project do I even have? My biggest project right now is my master plan to do absolutely nothing. Lu Ruyan is just as stunned as I am. She snaps out of it quickly. She glances at my phone on the table. The screen is still on, showing a stock market app. Just seconds ago, Jiang Yin's company stock took a massive nosedive. No warning. Literally billions of dollars vaporized in minutes. Talk about a massive face slap. And the mastermind behind this, my insanely hyper-competent assistant back home, Zhang Qi. Bro probably found out through some secret channels that I was getting harassed on the flight. My loyal assistant did not hesitate. He immediately deployed massive funds and delivered a fatal blow to the Jiang family. Meanwhile, I had absolutely no idea. I was just chillin'. Lu Ruyan looks at me, seeing my completely clueless expression. Combined with hearing my inner thoughts, she is totally speechless. Just too ridiculous. He literally did nothing. Bro just wanted to eat his pastry in peace, but in those exact few minutes, an entire business empire completely destroyed. Is this his true power? The man everyone, including her past self, thought was just a useless slacker and a gold-digging trash, actually possesses this kind of terrifying power, and the craziest part? He just wants to lay low and chill. He is truly built different. Exact moment, Lu Ruyan's heart is completely overwhelmed with shock and a sudden rush of feelings. When the plane finally lands in Finland, Jiang Yin, literally dragged away by airport security, crying his eyes out and screaming, "Mr. Yi, I was wrong." I, on the other hand, still have zero idea what just happened. Honestly, what a buzzkill. A perfectly good trip ruined by an absolute clown, but I cannot let him ruin my peace. The second I get off the plane, I am heading straight to the glass igloo to watch the northern lights and sip some wine. I grab my suitcase and walk straight ahead, completely ignoring Lu Ruyan behind me. She just silently follows me, keeping her distance. Her mind is a total mess. She stares at my back, a back she used to know so well, but now it feels completely different. She thought she knew everything about him, but now she realizes she knew absolutely nothing. He is like an iceberg. What she saw was just the tiny tip on the surface. The massive world-shaking force hidden beneath the water was something she had never even touched. Soon we arrive at the hotel and I check in for my glass igloo. Receptionist smiles and tells me, "Mr. Yi, your room is ready. It has the absolute best view of the northern lights." I nod, completely satisfied. Just as I reach for the key card, Lu Ruyan steps up. "Hi, I would like a room too, please." The receptionist looks at her apologetically. "I am so sorry, ma'am. All of our glass igloos are fully booked." Lu Ruyan freezes. Meanwhile, I am throwing a party in my head. Yes, fully booked. Let us see how you try to follow me now. The universe is literally on my side. Tonight, I finally get to watch the northern lights in absolute peace, all by myself. Hearing my thoughts, Lu Ruyan bites her lip. She turns to me, trying to sound as reasonable as possible. "Yes, Xiao? Can I share half of your room? I will pay you double the price." I look at her like she has lost her mind. "President Liu, do you seriously think I am short on cash?" "Wait, am I short on cash?" "Absolutely. Double the price sounds incredibly tempting." "No, Ye Xiao, stay strong. Do not sell your soul for a quick buck." But honestly, she is offering way too much. Lu Ruyan watches my face constantly shifting between noble dignity and pure greed, and she finds it hilarious. She decides to raise the offer to 10 times the price. I gasp. Oh my god, 10 times? Is this woman completely out of her mind? Literally just for one night. Why pass on free money? Besides, the glass igloo is massive. I can just throw her in a corner and make her sleep on the couch. Deal. My inner self is already counting the cash, but on the outside, I keep my face completely blank. Well, since President Liu is being so sincere, I guess I can manage. But we need some ground rules. First, you sleep on the couch, I sleep on the bed. Second, do not talk to me. Third, do not step within 1 meter of my personal space. Lu Ruyan nods without hesitation. Deal. And just like that, under the completely shocked gaze of the receptionist, my ex-wife and I are officially sharing a room. The view from this glass igloo is insane. You can see the entire starry sky and the snowy mountains. I am laying comfortably on the bed, sipping on complimentary champagne, just waiting for the northern lights to show up. Meanwhile, Lu Ruyan is holding a pillow, curled up on the couch like a lost puppy. I steal a quick glance at her. Wow, she is actually listening to me. I told her to sleep on the couch, and she actually did. But that couch looks kind of small. She is over 1.7 meters tall. Sleeping all cramped up like that must be super uncomfortable. What if she catches a cold? I would end up having to take care of her, which is a major hassle. Fine, whatever. I will be nice just this once and let her have the other half of the bed. The bed is huge anyway. I clear my throat and call out in my most annoyed voice. Hey, the couch is cold. Just sleep up here. Lu Ruyan snaps her head up, her eyes literally sparkling. It makes me feel super awkward. Do not get the wrong idea. I just do not want you catching a cold and giving it to me. Sleep on that side and do not cross the line. I draw an invisible boundary right down the middle of the bed. Lu Ruyan nods obediently, grabs her pillow, and climbs onto the bed. She carefully lies down right on the edge, keeping as much distance as possible. It is late at night now, and everything is completely quiet. I have been waiting forever, but the northern lights still haven't showed up. Honestly, I am starting to get pretty sleepy. Just as I am drifting off to sleep, I feel her move beside me. It feels like she is shaking, I frown. Why is she shivering? Pain. Cold? Bro, the heating in this glass house is blasted so high, how could anyone freeze? I rolled over to see what was up with her under the faint starlight. That's when I saw Lu Ruyan with her eyes shut tight, frowning, her forehead dripping with cold sweat as she mumbled, "Don't go, I'm sorry, Yixiao Perdun." She was literally having a nightmare and calling my name. Out of nowhere, my heart just softened. I sighed, reached out, and started gently patting her back like I was possessed or something, just like I used to do whenever she had insomnia. I'd done it a million times before. Feeling the comfort, she slowly stopped shaking, and her face finally relaxed. She unconsciously snuggled closer to me like a little kitten looking for warmth. My entire body went stiff. That warm, soft feeling came right through her thin pajamas along with her signature scent. Bro, it instantly lit a fire in me. Holy crap, stop snuggling. I'm a healthy guy, okay? I cannot handle this kind of test. Pure thoughts, pure thoughts. I just lay there stiff as a board, not daring to move a single muscle, frantically chanting calming mantras in my head. But right then, a gorgeous green band of light suddenly erupted across the sky without warning. Boom! The aurora was here. The entire glass house lit up with this dreamlike glow. That woke Lu Ruyan up, and she slowly opened her eyes. She stared blankly at my face, which was inches away, then looked up at the northern lights outside, totally lost between dreams and reality. I looked down at her. Under the northern lights, her eyes were literally glowing. My heart was pounding like crazy, and my mind went completely blank. Oh crap, am I actually catching feelings? Our Aurora trip ended in the most awkward romantic vibe ever. On the flight back home, we barely said a word to each other. But the ice between us had definitely melted. At least she wasn't looking at me like a total stranger anymore. Now there was this weird, gentle curiosity in her eyes. Honestly, I figured the car crash just scrambled her brain. I needed to stay far away from her, because if she ever snaps back to normal, and remembers how embarrassing she's being right now, she might literally delete me out of embarrassment. To protect my peaceful life, the second the plane landed, I sprinted out of there. I ran out of the airport, didn't even grab my bags, and just had Jiang send someone to get them. I thought this whole drama with Lu Ruyan was finally over. Plot twist. The very next day, I walked into my brand new company, and guess who was standing there? See, I had just bought out a dying gaming studio to live my ultimate dream of doing nothing and just making a game I actually wanted to play. When I as the new boss in the conference room, every single employee stood up to welcome me, except for one person sitting at the very end of the table. She was wearing a sleek corporate suit, looking down at some papers. When she looked up and saw me, flashed this perfect professional smile and said, "Hello, Mr. Yi. I'm Lu Ruyan, your new chief financial officer starting today." Bro, my blood pressure went through the roof. CFO? She came to my broke tiny startup to be the CFO? She literally abandoned her massive family empire just to manage my books? What is she cooking? Is the cafeteria food that good? Meanwhile, the entire room was looking at me like I was some kind of god. I mean, everyone knows Lu Ruyan is the ultimate business queen of the Lu Group. Why on earth would she downgrade to work at a dying startup? They were all wondering what kind of secret powerhouse I was. I looked at her sitting there all chill, acting like she was just a regular employee. But then I heard her inner thoughts, and my head literally exploded. She was thinking, he's starting a game company, so he definitely needs someone he can trust with the money. Sure, Jiang is capable, but he's a guy, and that makes things awkward. If I manage his money here, he can focus on his dream. Once the company takes off and we spend every single day together, we'll definitely fall back in love. Getting remarried will be a piece of cake. I'm literally a genius. Genius my foot. Who said anything about remarrying you? I took a deep breath and called her straight into my office. Look, President Lu, I'm going to be straight with you. What is the meaning of this? My company is way too small for a giant like you. She just sat there, looking as elegant as ever. Joking, Mr. Yi. I'm just here for a job. My resume and skills are perfect for this company. You have zero reasons to reject me. I was completely speechless. I mean, her resume was stacked. She could easily get into any Fortune 500 company, let alone my tiny startup. I had no excuse to say no, but I wanted to so bad. Working with my ex-wife every single day? How am I supposed to survive that? What about my dream of hiring hot girls? What about my gorgeous secretaries? With her guarding the place, who would even dare to apply? Hearing my inner breakdown, she smirked. In your dreams, as long as I'm here, no other girls are getting near you. She pulled out a folder and slid it over. Mr. Yi, here's my financial plan for the next 3 years. Take a look. I glanced at it and my eyes literally popped out of my head. Incredibly detailed, professional, and insanely genius. She took all those wild, crazy ideas I had floating in my head, turned them into a flawless, profitable business plan. It was even better than what I wanted. Holy crap, she is insanely good. Expected of a top CEO, her skills are 10 times better than mine. With her on board, I can literally just chill and only worry about the creative stuff. Damn it, she's literally flexing on me to win me over. I was screaming inside, but kept my face totally blank as I slid the folder back. Plan is great, but President Liu, I still can't hire you. Why? A flash of pain crossed her eyes. I looked her dead in the eye and said, because I don't want to mix business with pleasure. We're divorced, and I want to keep it that way. No more working together and absolutely no contact in our private lives. This is my absolute line in the sand. Having said that, I stood up, walked over to the window, and completely iced her out. Office went dead silent. Just when I thought she was finally going to give up and leave, Lu Ruyan's voice rang out again, with a slight, barely noticeable tremble. What if I were not Lu Ruyan? I frowned and turned back to look at her. She stood up, taking slow steps until she was right in front of me. Her gorgeous eyes were pooling with tears. If I were just a regular girl named Yan, someone who adores you and just wants to do things for you, would you be willing to give me a chance? Her voice was so soft, filled with a desperate, humble plea. I stared at her face, which was inches away from mine, face that was the definition of vulnerability and pure love. My heart started beating like crazy again, completely betraying me. In the end, Lu Ruyan stayed. I just could not say no. I mean, when a once high and mighty ice queen drops all her pride and begs you with that level of vulnerability, what guy could actually say no? Literally impossible. Whatever, I told myself to just treat her like some overpowered executive we hired. As long as she does not pull any crazy stunts and quietly acts as our chief financial officer, I will just pretend she does not exist. That was my plan. But boy, was I wrong. She did not just stay, straight up invaded my entire life in the most subtle, quiet way. Every single morning, she showed up 30 minutes early just to prepare my favorite, fresh, pour-over coffee and a sandwich. At noon, while I was still struggling to choose what trash takeout to order, she was already there, holding a luxury lunchbox, knocking on my office door. We are talking a 4-course meal with soup perfectly balanced with meat and veggies and insanely healthy. And they were all my absolute favorites. By afternoon, she would time it perfectly to bring me snacks. Sometimes homemade cookies, sometimes fresh-cut fruit. Like, what is her game here? Trying to break my willpower with top-tier food? Damn it, she got me again. Why does this woman know my taste buds so well? Meanwhile, the whole office was watching. Their jaws literally hit the floor seeing the once untouchable business empress acting like a devoted little wife, hovering around their mysterious boss Yi. Did Director Liu bring Boss Yi his love bento today? Hashtag Director Liu. She wearing Boss Yi's favorite color again today? Hashtag, when are Director Liu and Boss Yi getting remarried? These gossip topics. Trending hard in the break room. I was stuck in this sweet torture, loving her god-tier pampering but screaming internally to keep my cool. One afternoon, I was in my office playtesting our brand new game, True Dream. Lu Ruyan knocked and walked in. Boss Yi, the proposal for next month's team building retreat is ready. Take a look and see where we should go. I did not even look up. Choose. I am fine with anything. But in my head, I was like, please let it be a beach with hot girls. Sunshine, sand, bikinis, baby. Just as I was daydreaming, her voice broke the silence. So I picked a few spots. A hot spring resort in City A, a farmhouse getaway in City B, or a history education camps in City C. Which one sounds good? I snapped my head up from my screen, staring at her in pure shock. Bro, what are these options? Where is my beach? Where are my bikinis? Lu Ruyan nodded with the most innocent face. Yeah, I think these are great. They are relaxing, educational, and build character. It is a win-win-win. A win-win-win. Yeah, right. Like I would believe that trash. You did this on purpose just so I wouldn't check out hot girls, you jealous woman. I was so mad I almost crushed my mouse. Seeing me fuming, Lu Ruyan was secretly laughing. Think you can play me? You are way too green, kid. She dropped the file on my desk. Take your time looking it over. I'll go back to work. She turned to leave, but right at the door, she stopped as if she remembered something. She turned back and gave me this absolute goddess smile. The afternoon sun hit her face and I was literally blinded. Oh, by the way, Boss Yi, I heard that hot spring resort has mixed gender baths. She shut the door before I could even process it. I stood there completely frozen, with only those 4 words looping in my head. Mixed gender, hot springs, baths? Hold up, does that mean I get to see Lu Ruyan in a swimsuit? The cold, untouchable ice queen in a bikini? Oh my god, that is absolutely wild. I could feel a rush of heat straight to my brain.